All right, it's the first of 3 title fights tonight. It's got some international flavor. Our undefeated Russian champion, Alexander Keshtov, he's taking on the younger Brazilian challenger in Sousa. Both believe they deserve to compete at the sport's highest level. Let's see who can make the statement tonight.
Yeah, I had a tiring trip. It was a very long journey, but now I'm here and I'm happy to be here. It's amazing. I always saw in the movies, always saw in the TV, so to really be here, it's a dream come true.
All right, you see him there, Sousa, 25 years old, made his pro debut in December of 2012, now fights in the CFFC cage for the first time. 14-1 career record, very impressive. He's done it on the Brazilian scene. Now he's trying to make an impact here in the United States as well. 10 submissions among those 14 wins. Now, important to note, he did miss weight, so he is not eligible to win the belt tonight. If he wins, that belt becomes vacant. At the same time, he did not come all the way from the Brazil to just say, hey, you know, didn't make weight, I might as well give up at this point.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because although he didn't make weight, he didn't appear to be super drawn out. You know, like, so an argument could be made. Maybe he could have made it. Maybe that would have made him drawn out. Maybe then he couldn't have fought. You know, when it comes to weight cut, I try to be judicious with my comments. You know, do I think he could have made it? Yeah, probably. But maybe we wouldn't have got the best Sousa. You know, and the thing about it is, yeah, he can't win the title, but it doesn't mean that Keshtov can't lose it. He can still beat Keshtov. The title gets held up. And Keshtov, in the past, I think if he had a weakness, it's grapplers.
No question.
You know, and being from Brazil with a last name Sousa, what do you think this guy is?
A little bit of grappling. All right, we've been talking about Keshtov. Let's take a minute to meet our champ.
I'm happy to come to Cage Fury. I've been busy in amateur fight, Russian championships in Russian combat sambo and hand-to-hand. Next, I'm ready to MMA fight pro.
They call him AK-47, Alexander Keshtov. He comes to us with a 9-0 record, undefeated in his professional career. He's 32 years old, made his pro debut back in March of 2009. He claimed the CFFC title in his debut back in December of 2018, but he's been on the sideline since. He did have a little bit of a nagging injury to deal with. Matchups for him.
Yeah.
He does have a head kick knockout over Azamat Gashimov. That was early in his career. Azamat would go on to compete in the UFC twice. He is a multiple-time Russian hand-to-hand fighting champion. But he's just a tough guy to match up. He doesn't have a massive name, but he has massive skills, and people know that.
Right. And
so it's not somebody, if there's a challenger, you necessarily want to go face. But now that he's got the belt, that's going to change.
Right, like it doesn't pay to fight a guy like Alexander Keshtov because you wind up being a highlight reel on his highlight reel, and he doesn't have the name of, like, you know, say Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Right.
You know, and I say Khabib because K-Dojo Warrior Tribe, where Alexander Keshtov trains at, is exactly where Khabib started training at when he came to the States before moving over to Daniel Cormier's spare bedroom. You know, so the guy has the credentials, and he has a lot of highlight crazy kicks. There's one on YouTube, this crazy spinning kick. You know, so he can do it all. I want to see if he can grapple, and I think tonight he's going to get tested.
It's the perfect test for him. As you said, I mean, if you put him in against another striker, yeah, it would be fun, no question about it. I mean, I think it'd be great. But against a high-level grappler who has as many submissions as Sousa does, it's a different kind of test, and you like that. And that's what we do here at CFFC, right? That's what the matchmakers try to arrange is, listen, there's no cupcake fights, there's no easy roads. We need to get you tested, and we need to show the world that you deserve to compete at the highest level, to go on to the biggest organizations.
And, you know, hats off to Alexander and how anybody whose opponent doesn't make weight and they still step up and say, yeah, I'm still going to fight the guy, like, I appreciate it.
Yeah, much respect. All right, first of 3 title fights as we take a look at the tail of the tape. 25 years old Sousa, a young guy, even though he has that record. You see an impressive 14-1 Did miss the weight. That's the unfortunate part, but it's still a championship fight. Let's take it up to our man David Liederfine to get the official introductions.
The following bout is scheduled for 4 5-minute rounds with a possible 5th and overtime round. This championship bout is brought to you by D2 Computers for all your computer needs. Introducing first the challenger. Fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the green trunks with yellow trim. At 5 feet 6 inches tall, he weighed in at 139 pounds. A record of 14 wins and only 1 loss. Representing Constrictor Team and fighting out of Brasilia, Brazil, Herbeth, India, Sousa! And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the black trunks with red trim. At 5 feet 9 inches tall, he weighed in at 135.8 pounds. A perfect record. 9 wins and no losses. Representing K-Dojo Warrior Tribe. Fighting out of Krasnodar, Russia. He is your current CFFC Bantamweight Champion, Alexander, AK-47, Keshtov. When the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action, the third man in the cage, William Bookwalter.
All right, the champ, Keshtov in the black and red. Herbeth Sousa, the challenger in the Brazilian colors there, we'll go with. Green and yellow, traditional, representative of the Brazilian flag.
Herbeth has got a great look about him. He looks like, it's almost like he looks like a 60-year-old man that's somehow also 13. I don't understand. These Brazilians just age different. He looks good.
Keshtov holds the center there to start.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this, you know, like how Herbeth is going to try to close the distance. You know, Keshtov, obviously a striker. He can do a lot of creative things with his legs.
Like that.
Like that. And you're going to see a lot of that, too. And to think about this, the first strike thrown in the fight was a spinning leg. Oh, and you see Herbeth right there just diving on that leg.
Not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah,
don't bother to kickbox. You know it's not going to work out for you.
I mean, if somebody threw a spinning, you know, kick at me like that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm ankle picking.
all that strategy and setups we had arranged, nah, let's just go in right now.
But again, I mean, this is, you know, we talked about it. I think this is what the fight is going to be. It's going to be Keshtov trying to keep his range, throwing spinning attacks, dangerous stuff from high and low, and you got Herbeth who wants to close the distance and get exactly where he is right here.
Yeah, Keshtov landed a couple of sharp little elbows in there, had to watch the back of the head, so made an adjustment. Working in kind of a kneeling position right now. Left hand's coming in from Sousa. Keshtov wants to get back to his feet, but obviously that right hand wrapped around the body, he has to be careful. Doesn't want to give up his back, doesn't want to get underneath Sousa. So he's trying to control that left hand.
Sousa happy to be where he is right here. Now he's made an adjustment. He's trying to get that far leg of Keshtov off the cage. Got a body lock, though. I mean, he's from Team Constrictor. Let's see if he can, yep.
Perfect work there. Keshtov got back to his feet, and that's going to be frustrating. And you can see right now Keshtov has to be very careful right now. He's close to exposing his back. Sousa trying to sneak the left leg over there to get that one hook in. Now takes a look at the right side instead.
Well, this is the test that Keshtov needs.
Sousa's corner yelling out instructions in Portuguese. Landing the left hands there as well.
I mean, I'm impressed with Sousa so far.
No question about it. He's got the fight exactly where he wants it to be. Not allowing Keshtov to work from range and just keeping him working. You can see Keshtov looks to his corner to get some instructions there as well, but this is dangerous times for Keshtov.
It is. I mean, Sousa's content not to necessarily advance position beyond anything he can control. He's good where he is, so he stays there. He's peppering Keshtov with punches instead of, you know, maybe focusing on getting that other hook in. This is exhausting for Keshtov. Keshtov is holding this man's entire weight on his body. Also has to stand up and defend punches raining down on top of him.
All the while, that right arm, it's not putting pressure on the neck right now, but it's there. And if you make a mistake, if you slip up, it will turn into the choke immediately.
Absolutely.
Keshtov knows that, which is why he's kind of stuck sitting there while he's taking those left hands, because that right arm is wrapped firmly around his neck. Now, he has his left arm in the hold, That's preventing the pressure. But again, he's in a lot of danger if he makes one mistake.
And that arm is underneath. I don't think it's underneath the chin, but is in position. And this is where not having both hooks in and it just being around the jaw can be dangerous, because Keshtov can just slide his hips.
And look at this. He's put the squeeze on. Like you said, it's not under the neck, but it's certainly bothering the breathing a little bit, you know, and just putting pressure. Keshtov did a good job of kind of wading through that.
I think that other hook just slipped in.
1 minute left in this opening round.
That other hook is in now. He's in a much better position. Now he can posture up a little bit more like that, like you see he's doing, and throw punches. And Keshtov, you might think, hey, just stand up. It's easier said than done.
No question, yeah. Again, Sousa has had himself in such a threatening position the whole time that Keshtov has just been kind of stymied. He doesn't have a lot of options available to him because, again, one wrong move and the fight's over.
Yeah, with both these hooks in and now a body lock. Watch for Sousa to try to get that choke again. Even if it's just around that chin, he could possibly just squeeze, make it a neck crank, maybe break the jaw. But Keshtov's got 15 seconds here until the end of this round, and it's looking like he's going to weather the storm, and we're going to get a round 2 out of the champion.
Sousa heard the 10-second clap there, just decides to punch away a little bit. Keshtov kind of resigned to just waiting until he can get a stand-up. And listen, that's going to be a frustrating 5 minutes for the champ. He, you know, has been out of action since he won the belt. First time back, you're dealing with that the whole time. He's going to have to make some adjustments.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at the corner here of Sousa. This guy's got great hair. I call it like I see it.
MMA manager Lucas Lucas does have a fantastic head of hair there. Take a look at the replay.
And you see right here, kind of a dangerous thing to do. It's like a naked shot. He didn't disguise it with any punches or anything like that, but he just shoots in, almost grabs an ankle pick, and it was a battle to get him down, but eventually he gets the champion down, and it was a punishing round.
Yeah, very frustrating for Keshtov. But you know what? I think it's got to be especially frustrating as you continue to look at the work that Sousa was doing, because, again, that takedown, it wasn't like it was just beautifully set up or, you know, you fell into a trap. He just literally went out and took it and got it.
Yep. The cage is either your best friend or, you know, it's your ex-wife.
All right, round 2, bantamweight title on the line. Herbert Sousa, the challenger, banked round 1 clearly. He's in the green and yellow. The champ, Keshtov, and look at that. There you go.
I was going to say, what I think Keshtov needs to do is just get away from the fence.
Look at that. Keshtov tried to grab the neck, tried to sprawl. Sousa just pushed forward. Again, not necessarily a tricky setup. It's just, I'm going in and I'm going to get this takedown.
Well, I mean, you can back up and avoid that takedown if you're in open mat, you know, but the cage stops you, the cage prevents you. And that's what I mean when I say the cage is your best friend. In Herbert Sousa's case, it's his best friend. And the cage in Alexander Keshtov, his case, it's his ex-wife.
His ex-wife, man. Yeah. No good.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I make good decisions.
I would. I don't.
Now, I make good decisions.
Sousa, you can see up against the cage. Look, he's got that left leg step over. You talked about Khabib Nurmagomedov earlier. Of course, the move that he made famous. Doesn't have both legs in there, but did trap it. You can see Keshtov gets to his feet. Sousa immediately back in on the takedown.
Yeah, and again, that fence just makes it easy for him to clasp his hands behind the butt of Keshtov. And now Keshtov, he's got to let go of that head.
Yeah, you know, a little bit of the crowd was getting excited, thinking maybe there's a guillotine choke there, but you got to think Sousa is very comfortable in that position.
I think the CFFC fans might have been more excited because there could have been a Von Preux choke there.
Ooh, that's what they were waiting for, the Von Preux.
Yeah.
I like it. Gotta love this sold-out Parks Casino crowd.
Sold out!
CFFC fans know what's up.
This is the first of 3 title fights.
Now he's controlling both legs. Keshtov doing his best, trying to kick away, trying to create space. But immediately, Sousa just reaches in, wraps up both legs. Again, Keshtov trying to briefly hold the neck there, nothing doing. And time just ticking away with Herbert Sousa on top. smart. I mean, you like to talk about position over submission, that sort of thing. I mean, just always making sure that there is at least a threatening option where he is. And controlling.
Well, he's like a lead blanket right now, right? And he's not in any danger whatsoever. You know, Keshtov's not in a position to do any kind of damage to him, so he's content just to stay here and just make this a grappling fight.
And to his credit, I mean, Keshtov isn't, you know, just laying on his back and holding and praying for a stand-up. He's trying things. He's doing his best to move. He's getting the legs inside. He's working hips to hips, you know, doing what he can.
Yeah.
But Sousa is just, I mean, incredible with his top control right now.
He's absolutely working, but, you know, being against the cage limits your options.
Sousa sneaking in a couple left hands, trying to pass there.
Butterfly guard.
Yep, tried for a little sweep there, but had Sousa off balance just for a moment, but he immediately adjusted.
I think Sousa is doing a really good job of mixing up his ground and pound. Now, not the most devastating ground and pound you've ever seen, but you know, when you're on top, you're scoring points left and right. He's obviously staying busy enough that the referee's not going to stand him up. That would be a travesty.
Yeah, no question about it. He's definitely staying busy enough to stay right where he is. Referee on top of the action, but I haven't seen any real hard warnings or anything yet. He's staying right there, and again, Sousa's working.
I mean, he tried to sweep there again, but he was sweeping him into the cage. And again, the cage, Sousa's friend. And he's right in front of his own corner.
As you said, butterfly guard there for Keshtov. But, I mean, just all one moment. That was, I mean, that's how little the window is to get up. Had a little tiny second. Sousa immediately adjusted and got back on top.
And again, cage limits your options. You know, you want to, when you're in that position, put your feet on the guy's hips, try to launch him to Venus, you know, but you can't back up and get space because the cage is right there. This is a tremendous game plan by Herbert Sousa, who was attempting to set up a Kimura right there.
He tried to isolate that arm.
Right now, he's got a front headlock, possibly setting up a Darce choke, but we're back to our feet. 20 seconds left. This is where Keshtov has to do his work.
Not much time to do it, but he's got to do something. Final 10 seconds of the second round. Again, it's been just about all Herbert Sousa. Keshtov trying to do something at the very end here to steal a little momentum. Look, I will say this. If you're Keshtov, at least you did get up and get free at the end of the second round. You got a little something to hold on to maybe have a glimmer of hope, because otherwise, this has been all Herbert Sousa.
Yeah, this has been Herbert Sousa's fight, and you'll see right here again, back is up against the cage, which signals for Herbert Sousa to shoot. He shoots for a double, can't get it, switches to a single, can't get it, switches back to that double, and the entire time his forward pressure is 100%. Looking for that wrist, but either way, he's got the man down, and that's where he wants him. And right here, as you see where Keshtov stood back up, only for a brief moment, because again, cage prevents him from backing up fully, and Herbert Sousa is allowed to take him right back down.
Herbert Sousa between rounds there is pacing a little bit and just kind of giving a little yes nod, he knows he's doing good. He's feeling the confidence, man. He is just about done perfectly through 10 minutes. Meanwhile, Keshtov, an entirely different story. He's got to stay on his feet. And honestly, if he gets taken down again, he's just going to have to start taking chances. He's going to have to maybe expose himself, unfortunately.
I don't know how many chances, you know, Herbert's given him. Right back to where we were. Now, in the first fight of the night, you saw the double underhook position quite a bit. Now, Herbert Sousa does something like that, a quick wrestling move. That's what I wanted to see out of those first fights.
No question
those
about
first
it.
Fighters. But again, Herbert's on top. Butterfly guard by Alexander. But I don't know.
I mean, if there's anything for Keshtov to be happy about right now, at least he's in the center of the cage.
Yeah.
So he's got some more options available to him.
So now he puts his hips on his feet on Herbert's hips, and he can launch him off. He can do a technical stand-up, and he's got somewhere to go. There's real estate behind him instead of just being backed up against the fence.
Sousa, meanwhile, nice little elbow inside there.
There's a lot of Brazilians here. There's a lot of people screaming from, the crowd.
A little bit of Portuguese, yeah. From various spots in the building here at Parks Casino. High up on the half guard there, Herbert Sousa. Again, controlling as he has from just about moment one here. Keshtov, the champ, has just not had any time to work on the feet at all.
Yeah, stylistically, I thought this matchup was a nightmare for Alexander Keshtov, and it's turning out to be exactly that. Oh, if you just made weight, Herbert.
That's it. I mean, look, I guess on the bright side, maybe if he continues to cruise like this, you bring him back and put him in another title fight with the vacant belt on the line, because he is impressing right now. But
you see right here, he's moved into side control.
Controlling the head very well there. Even his
that left arm of Keshtov's doing nothing but holding Herbert onto him. Right here, he might be trying to crucifix him.
Yeah, you're right. That left arm, and get it inside, frame away.
Yes, correct. All you're doing is holding your man on top of you.
You can see Keshtov, I know, is frustrated. This has not gone his way.
It's diminishing returns. I know, I've been there. You're underneath the guy, and you're like, well, at least he's not punching me in the face. But you got to realize, you're holding him on top of you.
Keshtov scrambled to his knees. Like I said, I mean, at some point you got to start taking some chances there. He did. He's like, I'm just going to scramble and see what happens. Ended up giving his back, which that's, of course, the risk that's inherent in trying a move like that. But, I mean, nothing is working otherwise. You got to give it a shot. So here he is in another bad position. And unique, should say, the CFFC format, 4 rounds in title fights with a 5th overtime if necessary. You bank your 3rd round right here.
Yeah, it's not the 5th round's not necessary.
That's it. So potentially might be able to save himself 5 minutes of work.
But there's still a lot of time here. There's 90 plus seconds here, and this has just been. I mean, there's an argument that these are 10-8 rounds.
It's dominance. It's complete dominance from start to finish. Maybe not the damage that you would like to see in what you consider a 10-8 round, but in terms of being one-sided and who's got the offense, absolutely. It's all Sousa.
And you see that right.
There's the squeeze again.
Yep, there it is. But again, doesn't have both hooks.
Doesn't have it under the neck.
So he can't hip into it to make Keshtov arch his back. But, I mean, this is all kinds of ugly for Keshtov, regardless of, how many hooks are in and whatnot.
Well, it's just got to be a gut check, too. I mean, how frustrated and demoralized are you at this point that, to just tap out and say, oh, well, let this be over with.
Nah, he's a warrior. He's not going to do that.
Sousa, though, locked in on the back, was able to get those hooks in. Now, again, just cranking on it, not necessarily in place, but restricting the breathing nonetheless.
Yeah.
Over the nose and mouth. You can see Keshtov didn't like that, had to press the arm away. And again, time just ticking away with no offense from Keshtov.
Oh, look at this, posturing up now.
Dominant performance from Sousa thus far. 10 seconds left in this 3rd round. Very clearly another round in the books for the Brazilian. Man, just absolutely maddening if you're Alexander Keshtov, because you've been given zero opportunity to do anything you wanted to do.
Yeah, let's follow him to his corner. I mean, this is desperation, You're not going to hear, hey, you're doing good. All right, champ. Who knows what the judges are seeing. I mean, you're losing this fight unequivocally, 100% across the board. His corner has to be telling him that. You need a finish. You want to keep that title? You want to go back home to Russia a champion? You want to remain undefeated? You want to go to the UFC?
Now's the time to prove it.
Yeah.
Look, it's not easy, and the truth is, the window of opportunity to execute anything he wants to do is incredibly narrow. I mean, he has been given seconds at the start of each round. And again, CFFC format, you don't have 10 more minutes to work with. You're down 3 rounds to none. You have 5 more minutes to work with. So for all intents and purposes, this is the final round for Alexander Keshtov. He's got to make something happen.
Yeah, and Herbeth looks like he just maybe got off a treadmill after like a 30-minute walk. He doesn't look taxed at all.
Yeah. Keshtov coming out with that sense of urgency. He gets it. His corner made it very clear to him, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, it's making Herbeth think. You see him, he's like, whoa.
And that's it.
Yep, that's it. 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's one of the reasons I love MMA. You could call this boring if you want, but you're wrong. This is just the way it is. There's certain people train in certain disciplines and they become masters of it, and I think that's a beautiful thing. It's like a Renaissance painting.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And it's just an off night for Keshtov, but this isn't his specialty.
It's just a perfect stylistic opponent to beat him.
Absolutely.
I don't even know that I'd necessarily say he's having a bad night. I don't think we've gotten to see enough of him to know if he's having a bad night.
What would Stephen A. Smith say? That's what I want to know.
Folded like a cheap tent.
I want to know. we gotta get old Stevie watching CFFC.
Keshtov just never shows up in the big fights.
Just watching the big guys, that's easy to do. We need to get Stephen A. Smith with some regional mixed martial arts fights.
I mean, the guy's clearly an expert, so I don't see. He's probably watching right now on UFC Fight Pass. Part of the ESPN family.
Herbeth has opened up a little bit of a cut on Alexander Keshtov's face. The Brazilians here smell blood.
No doubt about it. Keshtov turning to knees again.
Herbeth not coasting. He's still doing everything he can to gain a finish. You gotta love that.
I do. Yeah. Again, trying to work things. Keshtov doing his best, getting to his knees, but man, it's just smothering. Every time you start to make an advance in your recovery, Sousa makes an adjustment so that you're in a bad spot again, like there.
Yeah, he's just getting grapple effed. It's a technical term.
Once again on the back, hooks are in place. More than half a round to go. Getting a warning there. I think Keshtov had his hands in the glove there.
Maybe you can see where he's bleeding. Maybe just from the bridge of the nose. It was some good ground and pound. Cut him open.
Looking for the choke, seeing if it's there. Punches in the meantime. Again, just always staying busy, always looking for options. Sousa came in here with a fantastic record, a great pedigree of submissions, but I think the question was, hey, listen, he's done most of his work on the Brazilian regional stage, which, there's not a lot necessarily of tape floating around, and it's not broadcast. You don't know what are the quality of opponents he was facing. Well, today he came in against a guy that a lot of people felt was UFC ready, and he has dominated. So, answering a lot of questions as this fight carries on.
Yeah, but also bringing to the table a lot more questions. Keshtov, big layoff, maybe has a weakness in fighting grapplers and wrestlers. God, I wish Herbeth made weight. I'm going to keep going back to that.
That's a shame. That is literally the only blemish on this performance is the fact that you missed it at the scales. If things continue like they do for the next 90 seconds, we will have a vacant bantamweight title because Herbeth Sousa not eligible to win it because he missed weight. But, a championship-worthy performance because it has been dominant. Now, there will be questions for Sousa. If we want to put him in a title fight next, you can see there the blood really starting to stream down from Keshtov's face. But if we want to put him in, say, a vacant title fight next for the bantamweight fight, do you put him against somebody with better wrestling? Do you find somebody that is a good defensive wrestler and say, now what can you do?
Am I the matchmaker? I honestly just bring this fight back.
Not a bad idea.
But there's an argument against that. I know
because
it's been so one-sided. Yep. So you maybe you can't do that.
Looking for the choke here, by the way, as you said, always going for the finish. We're in the final minute here. Sousa's still looking for that squeeze. This time he can kind of put the hips into it a little bit, but Keshtov has just enough space, and as you said, a warrior that's not going to tap just because.
Yeah, 20 seconds left, and Herbeth, I feel he knew he could squeeze with everything he had because it doesn't matter if he burns his arms out now.
That's it. You can see Keshtov doing anything he can. Final 10 seconds as the fourth in what we believe will be a final round. I don't believe an overtime fifth is going to be necessary.
I mean, I feel confident to say that I can say that Alexander Keshtov has tasted defeat for the first time in his career. You see Herbeth right there, good sport. Both guys warriors. But man, Herbeth, let's make that weight next time.
I don't think Herbeth knew that there was only 4 rounds. I was watching his manager try to explain to him what was going on.
Yeah, Herbeth is now talking to Kestov's corner. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think they know it's over, but I think Herbeth thought that maybe he quit, that he didn't want to answer the bell. But again, that's the CFSC championship format. It is a 4+1.
Oh, he's fired up.
He's flexing over here for us.
Oh, here we go. Don't jump on me, please.
Nice work in front of the broadcast booth again. Dominant work. Yeah, the idea of Keshtov getting a second shot at it because he had been off for so long, maybe there was rust. Not bad, but it was so dominant that, I think maybe if you're going to bring Herbeth back, you give him somebody with great defensive wrestling.
All right, well, then you do, since the title's obviously going to be vacant after this, you do a bantamweight, a bantamweight tournament. I don't even care if there's just 4 guys in it. You know what I mean?
CFSC matchmakers, yeah, let's do it. As we watch a replay of some of that final action.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what round this was in because they were all the same, ladies and gentlemen. It was all about, the forward pressure, the takedowns, and then just the grinding Brazilian jiu-jitsu style. All those short, rapid punches add up.
Good look there. Impressive. Herbeth Sousa still celebrating, man. That is a big win for him. Again, a lot of great accomplishments on the Brazilian regional stage, but to come do it here in the CFFC, to do it on UFC Fight Pass, now you got a new name on your radar that you got to pay attention to. He is certainly an impressive grappler, to say the least. All right, we know what's happening here, but let's take it up to Jason Liederfine to get the official result.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of actions, the judges have declared our winner. All 3 judges score this one 40-36 for your winner by unanimous decision, Herbeth Indio Sousa.
All right, so Herbeth Sousa victorious as we expected. We'll see what happens with the title next. It's up for grabs now, but a new name in the CFSC cage, to say the least. That was the first of 3 championship fights. We've still got 2 more to go. A fantastic one, I think, up next. Let's hear from our fighters.